Hey, morning everybody. Beautiful Monday morning, and about to go to work. Just gonna say how's it to all of you, and ask a couple of questions and see where we land. So first thing is, last night I watched Biz News with Neil de Beer, and my heart is broken. That's all I can say. That it's in the condition that Neil is in, that he's still got to come out here and do our work for us and plead with us and beg us to do what we need to do to change our country, and he says some things that I've been thinking for a long time. At what point does a moral man look at the situation that his policies and systems have created in his country and go, I've made a big mistake here. Maybe I'm not the man for the job. Maybe I should step down. Maybe I should resign. Maybe the things that I believe in don't work. Maybe I'm at fault. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe someone else should do this and, give it a shot. Because, what me and my party are doing is systematically destroying a beautiful country. I posted a thing on my Facebook page. I encourage you to go look at what Johannesburg CBD has become, and maybe you guys don't get it, but I get it, So in the one section there, he walks down Noord Street and you'll see there's a building there, Union Square. My grandfather, when he worked for the railways, bought that building for the railways. And across the road was where Joubert Park started, and that's now the MTN taxi rank. And my bro, it is just an absolute and utter shit show. Filth, water, sewage running in the streets. Then he goes around the corner to where Wits Command used to be, the army base, where Groskopf detonated at that point the biggest bomb in history. It's a cesspool. It's a mess. Behind that is the Cynic complex, cesspool, mess. Then he goes up into Plain and De Villiers Street. You can't even walk in the street because it's just people selling absolute rubbish there. An absolute mess. If you were to have been blindfolded and just dumped there and open your eyes and say, right, first thought, where are you? Mogadishu, Mogadishu. Or some terrible part of Lagos, or definitely not South Africa, not the South Africa that I remember, and then people get angry with us because we remember that South Africa, we remember that very beautiful South Africa, and see what has happened. I challenge you. I know that a lot of you, and I agree with you in principle, will say that, Cape Town is separated into two different dynamics, in terms of the Cape Town city and the flats and Khayelitsha and all of that, and I agree with you. But if you go to the city, right, that is the jewel, right? That is what attracts the money. That is what attracts the tourists. That is what attracts people to Cape Town. Go and look what Cape Town City looks like. And then get in an airplane, go to our Tambo, and go and look what Johannesburg City looks like. It's incomparable. It's absolutely incomparable. And that's the argument. We can't have our cities looking like this. We can't have people living like this in our cities. But it is what it is. Now, and then the president of this country says he doesn't know that the city looks like it. Have you seen what it looks like outside Luthuli House? Hey, there's a different video of a guy walking past Luthuli House. And all the addicts and homeless people are sleeping on the pavement in front of Luthuli House. How do you get into Luthuli House? Do you land on the top of the helicopter, or do you just circumvent it and drive into the basement? How do you not see that? And at one point, do you, the governing party, travel through these cities? And it's not the only one. I saw one on PE this morning. Same thing. Durban, same thing. Bloemfontein, same thing. At what point do you guys look at this and go, we failed? But you see, you don't care about success or failure. You don't care about the success or failure. All you care about is the money and how much more money you can make and how much more money you can loot. And it's disgusting. And I watched Neil de Beer last night, trying to be his aggressive self, which, is very, very difficult when all your aggression and all your fight is being put into fighting a terminal disease. But begging people to do something and not us telling those people, brother, it's time for you to move out. Let other people who know how to rebuild this, rebuild it. When you've got Julius Malema telling the government to re-employ the old, retired white cars to rebuild this stuff, then you must understand at what level you failed, bud. For that man to say that, you must understand that you, as the ANC, have dismally failed for a radical like Malema to say, bring back the old white cars, the engineers, etc., etc. Let them let them fix this mess. You don't want to hear it. And then, of course, this weekend there's a lot of talk about this police corruption, and it appears, don't know if it's true, that there's a hidden warrant of arrest for Masimola. Now, I spoke about this on Friday, and, I've been demonized and slated because how dare I even question the possibility that Umkhonazi might be somehow implicated. To these people, do you remember when the National Party government made us believe all kinds of things? And we bought into that. And we went and sacrificed our lives for these people. Well, forced to sacrifice our lives, but we went anyway. And we bought into that bullshit. And where are we now? Because we followed blindly. Right? We're in a place where, even though on paper we have a few little rights, our rights are being trampled upon. We have no rights. We've been sold out. And now you're putting your faith again blindly in someone without knowing the background. Now, what I'm saying is we must first find out everything about everything before we make decisions. And before we blindly follow people that lead us. Look at how this entire nation followed this ANC blindly. And look where they're at. And when I say they, I speak to the followers of the ANC. There's a very small minority that are surviving or doing well. But where are the rest? Suffering, bro. From blindly following people that you know nothing about. And I'm telling you, we must start questioning and stop following blindly. Because I'm going to do my best not to get suckered again by some wannabe Messiah that's coming to save us. There's only one Messiah, Jesus Christ. No one else is coming to save us. We're waiting for his return. But if we want people to lead us, we must be 1,000% sure that these people are leading us the right way and for the right reasons. Not blindly following people who it appears may or may not also be implicated in all kinds of things. And woe to anyone who calls it out and asks the questions. You must ask questions. Now it's going to be very interesting to see. And then on a closing note, the ANC has found Paul Mashatile not guilty of any ethical violations, even though his salary cannot provide any support for him owning 65 million rand properties. Shocking. Keep following them blindly. Keep following everyone blindly and see where it's going to lead you. Lekker. Have a fantastic day. God bless. Cheers.